it's your lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my channel, lovelies. Today I'll be speaking or continuing the series of natal chart analysis, and today I'll be doing a natal chart analysis / reading on John Mayer. I will be speaking on his personality traits as well as his characteristic traits based off of his natal chart, and I also will be speaking on how a lot of the success he's garnered really helped by his natal chart. So please stay tuned for the rest of my video. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then this is your calling to do so. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Also, please make sure you share this video with everyone you know, whether it's your friends, your family members, your enemies, just anybody in general. Last but not least, please make sure you hit that like button because I know you guys will love this video. And please stay tuned for the rest of my video, lovelies. John Mayer was born on October 16, 1977, and this qualifies him to be a Libra. So having a Libra in the sun placement is very good. Having this placement tends to make you someone who loves fairness, who loves justice, and who loves equality. So he also loves a matter of law, peace, and social interaction that is governed with this sign. It is a cardinal sign, so there's a lot of leadership, and they're the type of people who's concerned with the need to act. Also with this placement, he tends to be someone who loves to be graceful towards other people. He has a magnetic personality, and he is known for being a social human being and as well as a very charming human being. He's someone who loves to be tactful, and just people just love being around him because of this placement. So it's a great placement. Up next is his moon in Sagittarius. And having this placement, he is incredibly energetic, and he has a carefree nature and a will to explore the world. A lot of people really love this placement because they tend to be very emotionally restless, but they're like a fun type of placement. They're very independent, they're very outspoken, they are uncommitted, but they're very warm-hearted people. They're very adventurous and very impulsive at times, but having this, they need freedoms and they don't really like to be emotionally needy. But some people really love this placement because they just have so much fun. They're just energetic, optimistic, they have a great sense of humor. If you want honesty, you will get that from them. They are freedom loving, they're very carefree, they're adventurous, they're open-minded, they have a go-getter attitude, and they're very friendly people. Next up is his Mercury in Libra. It's great that he has his Sun and Mercury in the same placement because he'll be able to speak how he feels on certain things. And this is one of the best placements to have in order to have an effective orator voice. So people who have this placement, people love to hear them and love to hear them talk because they just have this profound speaking voice that people just cannot overlook. They have a harmonious voice, a harmonious way of speaking. They're verbally eloquent. They're gentle and very diplomatic with the way that they speak. They're indecisive and never make them choose. Like, they don't really like to choose things. They want to keep the peace. They're very assertive but are not harsh. They have a certain elegance about them. They're legal minded. They're mildly enthusiastic, and they can see all sides of an issue. So this is a great placement. Next up is his Venus in Virgo. And with this placement, he tends to take his relationships quite seriously and do whatever is necessary to please their mate. So this is a placement where he's going to make sure that his significant other or his friends are very happy, and he takes them very seriously. So he's willing to work and dedicate himself to his relationship. He's very sensitive and insecure or reserved loner. He's not the first one to make the move, but he is a great listener and he analyzes his partners very well. He tries to be helpful but can come off as critical sometimes. He needs to be appreciated for all the things that he does. He doesn't jump into relationships easily. He's not overly romantic and easy to please. But he doesn't like to play mind games and he dislikes being superficial or boastful. Next up is his Mars in Cancer, and with this placement he tends to be very ambitious and very creative. It makes sense because it is a cardinal sign and having ambition is something that comes with that. Being creative is something that comes with being a water sign, so it makes a lot of sense why. He's very creative and loves to do things that are termed as creative. He's also someone who has a really high security drive and needs to care and protect others, so he's like a mother hen. And that makes sense because Cancer is the mother of the zodiac sign. So sometimes he's very sensitive to the slightest emotional change that someone may have. But this is also an artistic trait and talent that he has. He's also someone who loves his family, children, animals, and he's the type of person that tends to be sometimes passive aggressive, and he doesn't like confrontation and he loves to resist change. Next up is his Jupiter in Cancer, and he tends to be someone who's very instinctive and attract luck and good fortune through him being very intuitive. So having an instinct and being intuitive really helps with having luck and good fortune, because as a Cancer sign, that's what comes with Cancers. Having a lot of intuition and being very intuitive is something that will help him know what to have and what not to have, what job to take, what job not to take, what to do and what not to do. And that's something that is great for someone with a Jupiter in Cancer. He's a very devoted person, and he's someone who, if he sticks to something or he does something, he's going to make sure that he goes all out for it. He's a very receptive person, so he loves receiving and he loves to understand things. He's also someone who's easily influenced, and that's something that he will need to work on to make sure he knows what he wants. Next up is his Saturn in Leo, and with this placement he is a good-natured person and he has a great sense of humor, and he is someone who thinks twice before taking chances. So even though he has a good-natured person, like he just has a lot of fun, that makes sense because it's Leo in this placement, and just having a sense of humor is something that comes with it because Leos just have a great sense of humor, but he's someone who would think twice before doing anything. He may at times have a disappointment in love and emotional obstacles, and this is something that is common with John Mayer because if you do look through his history, he does have obstacles in love or disappointments in love, but he's a very likable person and has a really wonderful presence. So this is something that really makes sense about him. A lot of people say good things about him and in relationships are not the best, but he can work on that. Next up is his Uranus in Scorpio. With this placement, he tends to be a rebel, and he's always going against the grain to come up with new ideas and insightful ideas. So going against the grain is something that is in the Scorpio spirit. That's something that they love to be. Alongside Aquarius, they love to be rebels, and they just love to do the opposite. So if you tell them to do something, they're more than likely going to just do the opposite. So that's something that you do need to look at. He is someone who loves his peer group to demand and confront life at its deepest and most meaningful levels. He can at times be compulsive and obsessive in his approach to everything. He will need to avoid anything that is casual or superficial, especially when it comes to relationships. He will seek out and explore new methods of healing as well as different ways to deal with deep-seated emotional problems. So this makes sense about his placement. Next up is his Neptune in Sagittarius, and with this placement he thrives on a variety of exciting, uplifting experiences and learning new things. So getting to know different things is something that really makes him exciting, and that's something that comes with being a Sagittarius in any placements, because having a Sagittarius means that you love to learn, you love to see new things, and you're not a closed-minded person. He's also a part of a placement that is heavily involved in investigating and idealizing foreign and exotic intellectual systems and religious philosophies. The most extreme ideals will be persuaded by you, and you will be at the forefront of humanitarian attempts to improve the lot of those who are in need of assistance. You will be comfortable with the concept of the global village. So this is also a nice placement for humanitarians and people making sure people around the world are good. Since he was born between 1972 and 1984, he is a part of Generation Y, and that makes him have a Pluto in Libra. So with this placement, he tends to have harmony and symmetry, agreement, and pleasantness. That's the things that he really wants. He's into global politics and transformed relationships. He loves to find a common ground and cooperation. He loves to make sure that peace never lasts, and he wants to make sure that peace is always forever. He is someone who is at a time for changes in society's attitude towards marriage and interpersonal relationships. Also, in general, he's in fear and awe of the power inherent in making emotional or contractual compliments, and they are not entered in lightly. He's also someone that knows too well the hidden problems behind a social issue and its worldly issues. Next up is his North Node in Libra, and with this placement, his mission is to learn and listen to those around him, put his energy into building relationships that last, identify with the diplomatic within himself, create beauty and harmony in his environment, learn to connect and share with others, begin to compromise for his own happiness and fulfillment. Don't be too independent and disconnected from others. Follow the path of union, and there's no way that he can go wrong. Surround himself with people who will support his new balance and relational outlook on life. Allow them to teach him two things of very important words, us and we. And most importantly, become the master negotiator that he is meant to be. So having this placement means that he will need to accomplish all of these things. Up next is his Chiron in Taurus, and with this placement, he has the wound of security. So maybe at some time in his life, he had to reflect on the wound of neglect at some point in his life, that he felt that he did not get enough of something, whether it was material things or emotional things, mental or spiritual things. He may feel unfulfilled and undesired or understood in some ways. Many people with this placement tend to shop to fill these things, and he needs to heal beyond these things, because buying things will not give him happiness. He will need a lot of nurturing and creativity, and sometimes he will need to know that he is not left behind and that he will be perfectly fine. He also needs to heal his past wounds of self-worth and know that his worth is important, and he does have worth in this life. Next up is his Libra rising / ascendant. And with this placement, he tends to be someone who is very optimistic, someone who is very diplomatic, someone who's very flirtatious, also someone who's very peacemakerish. He's very indecisive sometimes, but he is very easily distracted, and sometimes he can be a people pleaser. Also, with having this placement, he tends to be someone who is very attractive, very popular, very much having charm, because it helps him get his own way and prevents others from getting angry at him. He loves peace and harmony at all times, and that is something that he likes. He is someone who is very flashy and prefers to dress elegantly. He generally has a good taste in music, art, and literature, and this makes sense because he is into music. And he's someone who's a role model to others. Next and last but not least is his midheaven in Cancer. And having this placement, he tends to be a sensitive caretaker. This is something that really is important because he has feelings, and even though At times, he may not like to feel those feelings. His feelings aren't very adequate. This makes sense because he just finished going off of tour because his dad was having issues. So he wanted to make sure that he's been able to take care of his father. So he's someone who's like in the image of the public, the people's princess, the present yet private person. He's very mystical, very magical. He's very psychic. He has a wisdom with many things that other people may not be able to see. He's someone who also is always overacts, but he's someone who's really helpful and loving. So this is a great placement to have in order to help others. That's all I have for you lovelies today in regards to John Mayer's natal chart. Please let me know down below how you guys felt. Did you learn more about him? Did you get a better understanding as to who he is as a person? Also, please let me know down below who else you guys would want me to do a natal chart analysis on. Thank you so much. And John Mayer today was requested by Cornflower92. I thank you so much. He requested this video on John Mayer. So that's how we got this video. So please let me know down below who you guys would like, and I will make sure I will make a video based off of who you would want me to do a natal chart analysis on, and also the different content you guys would want me to put out. So please let me know down below. Also, if you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, please hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, that like button, and that share button. Last but not least, please make sure you follow me on all of my social media accounts, whether it's Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, TikTok. And please make sure you follow me, support me through my PayPal, email link down below, and as well as my Etsy store. I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.